Okay, what I'm going to show you here is how to knit your colour work and make sure that you've got the right yarn that's dominant. In other words, that you want your motif to be able to pop from the background of the colour. And in order to do that, you actually have to position your yarn correctly while you're knitting it, so that it positions correctly on the knitting itself. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So let's have a look at the chart. So the first chart here is the main colour. So I'm just going to knit the main colour. And now we want the first of the dominant colour. And this, when you start off, it's fine. You just knit it as usual. Now the trick is, when you cross your yarns, you must keep the second colour underneath the main colour, the background colour. So I'm going to carry this yarn across the top of the dominant colour, like that. So I need to do 2 of those stitches, and then I'm going to pick up the dominant colour and I'm going to carry it underneath. Can you see that this main colour is on top and the dominant colour goes underneath the main colour? So I need 2 of those stitches, and then I'm going to carry the main colour again on top of the dominant colour. So you can see how the dominant colour lies underneath. It lies underneath the main colour. And when you do that, what you will get is a colour work motif that pops up from the surface of the yarn. If you do it the other way, you'll find that the main colour becomes the dominant and this subsides into the background, so it may not be the effect that you're looking for. And particularly in the case of these socks, you don't want to have that, otherwise it's not going to look as pretty. So again, see, that's wrong. What we want is this coming underneath, this going on top. And remember to keep your stitches spaced apart while you're knitting. Don't pull them tight, because then you'll get puckered knitting and you won't have a nice, smooth, even surface, and it'll also be very difficult for you to get your sock on afterwards. So the main points are: keep your knitting, your stitches loose. So when you're carrying your yarn, make sure that you have plenty of space between your stitches. Don't push them all together when you're going to float across, so that your floats are nice and loose, and that your dominant colour, in this case the white yarn, is always underneath, carried underneath the main colour. And when you do that, that will make sure, that will allow your colour work to pop.